What is up, everyone? It's that time again. You're listening to It's Been a Week. I'm your host, Ben McDonald, and this is your weekly dose of whatever the hell just happened. Okay, everyone, welcome back to It's Been a Week. We are joined by one of our regulars, one of our favorites, one of our most insightful and helpful, Miss 11. Welcome back to It's Been a Week.
Oh, every time I come here, I have a new, surrounding. It's a very, it's a reflection of me. I've been a little bit of a fairy frolicker. I'm learning to put down roots, and it feels really good.
Love that. Last time we spoke, it was right before the new year. We were talking about the fire horse and all the things happening. And let me tell you, this fire horse has been kicking my ass. It has been a fiery ride.
Yeah. What's been going on?
I think we came into the new year being like, okay, it's the year of the fire horse and there's so much happening. And there is so much happening. There's so many, dare I say, coals in the fire. There's just so much going on. And I think I'm very close to a lot of things happening. And I think there's been a few doors shut and a few doors open. And it's just kind of like, riding the horse through the forest, trying not to set shit on fire.
Yeah, I relate to that. I think that, well, I remember we talked about, I think the last time we chatted was that the real new year, depending on if you look at whether it's Chinese astrology, which would be the fire horse, that didn't happen until February 17th. And then the actual, where the crops, right, are reaping is about now. It's really been not much, it's only been about a month that's been happening. So I think a lot of us hold ourselves to that standard of Jan 1, and it's like, okay.
Right.
And truly
Right.
it's still winter. So we're still now coming into the spring, the blooms, and then that real fiery will happen in the summertime. So I think we're right on track. And I feel very similarly to you, that there's been lots of things that are percolating, but we're kind of still in this interesting space. And that's happening collectively for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like major things have taken off, but it's they're gearing up. And I have a lot of things that are it's they're so close. They're so close. So I do feel like it's, the fire is building and then hopefully by summer it's taking off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so right now we're in Aries seasons to talk about fire. So in Aries, we've got multiple planets actually in Aries currently as we speak. So that fuego, that fiery energy is definitely percolating right about now. And yeah, you're gonna feel it. If not, if anyone out there is feeling fiery, even and the personality's reactive, and there's just a lot of the yang energy, which is more fire. And even currently right now, if you asked a couple weeks ago, it was just even beginning, and now we're at that, So I don't know. I think that it's interesting. This is a really unique time. I think we're all really working on creating still, trying to find, stillness maybe isn't the word because we're still definitely moving, but there's just so many things happening in the world that we're all trying to at least balance our nervous system. So maybe not stillness, but at least finding harmony and balance in our nervous systems. So yeah, since you and I last talked, winter was tough, man. That was tough. Last year, all of the winter, really tough, but I actually started to feel so much of a release and I feel much better and a lot more grounded. Yeah, finding my creativity again and color. And as you can see, it's a lot more colorful even where I'm at from the last time you saw me. I was actually at my family's land the last time that you and I chatted. And it was just, yeah, there was a lot of alchemy happening. I would say family members passing through, and I was just holding a lot. And now I feel a lot lighter
And ready to, I think even other people I've talked to, I feel like a lot of people have just things going on. It's a busy time of year. You know what I mean? It's spring. There's new things. It's just everyone feels good in general. There's a lot happening in the world, obviously, and the world's, a shit show in certain aspects. But there is also, I think, you have to look at the good. And there's a lot of good things happening right now. A lot of people are having success. A lot of people are starting new adventures. A lot of people are, in their groove. So I think that as a whole is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What is most exciting for you right now that you want to share since you've last caught up?
Well, I mean, some of I hate to sound like this because it's so like, "Ugh," but some of the most exciting things I can't share at the moment, but it's soon. It's soon.
Okay.
Soon. It's so coming. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
But in like in the general but in like the not secretive coded language. I'm just excited that like, spring has sprung. We have flowers, our grass is green, we've planted new trees, we've done all, like our landscaping. Like when you drive into our ranch, it's like this is the most gorgeous time of year because like in the winter everything's dead. In the summer it gets so hot, like usually the grass and everything is like, burnt and dead because it's a drought. But like right now, this is like the best time because everything is just gorgeous. Like it's just I love when it's you drive in, and it's just like everything is groomed and the lawn is cut and the flowers are blooming and it's just
And the
everything looks so
animals
good.
are
I
all
love that. Makes me
happy. Yeah.
yeah, like the
I
animals
get
aren't
it.
even eating hay right now because they're eating the path. They have fresh grass to eat, which is just like so much more satisfying when I look out and see my horses eating like fresh grass than like standing at a hay bale.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I bet that's
You know
super
what I mean?
grounding too. I mean, I actually just said that this morning to my partner's sister. I was like, wow, just having animals around in general, we just have a few little animals. It's not mine, but it's such a huge part of my life. If I don't have animals in my life and my frequency, I get very like irritable and I'm like, I love animals so much. So being at your, yeah, I gotta make, I know I said this last time, but I gotta make it out there again. I gotta make it out there. It's such a gift to be on that land.
It is. And I love our animals. I think I'm so fortunate to have all of this. But there is the other side of me where I'm like, sometimes it really feels like it's holding me back. Like sometimes I feel too grounded. Like sometimes I'm craving
Sure.
that wild freedom that I had, like, in LA, where it was just like, well, even in LA, I had my dog. So I was never really free. I've had animals my whole life. Even when I was in college, I've always at least had a dog. So, like, I don't know what it's like for these people that don't have animals that just can, like, I don't know, you could go out all night long and not come home and it's not a big deal. Or you could just like go on a vacation and not have to worry about like who's taking care of your shit. You can just like go. Like, there is part of me that craves that freedom of just like zero responsibility in
Like
that
not having
sense. Do you know what
100
I mean?
children, you mean? You have
Literally,
100
like 100
children that you're
animals,
responsible for?
and I love them, but like I've told AJ, I'm like, look, we are full, no more animals, and like when these animals go past, like I need a break. Like I said, I've never in
100
my
of
life
them?
not had a dog.
Right.
I know it's going to be a while, especially the parrot that lives to be like 500. But like I've never not even had like a dog. Like I've never been just free of animals where I can just travel or move or leave for a month and then you know what I
But
mean?
you
Like
guys have
I
AJ's
want that
parents, right?
like well, we do. We may have wore them out a little,
Mhm.
but we have some
Yeah.
help that we've hired now. So when we travel, we have some help. But AJ's parents are amazing and they're always even though when we have people, here taking care of it, they're always like we know they're 6 miles down the street. They're still can check in, they help us out a ton. But it's a
Good.
lot of responsibility. It's a lot of work.
I can't even imagine. I mean, you knew my little one, my Cash, and it was about actually this time last year that I buried him and put him back. I sent him back off to the stars, and that was a really deep. Oh yeah, I went to your ranch right after that. So it's been coming up on a year,
Right. I
and
remember.
so this is the first time, yeah, that I've also felt so I don't feel ready for a while to like connect again that deeply with an animal right now. Probably won't be for a while. And I just feel like it feels really nice, I will say. You're right. It does feel kind of like a breath. And that was just one animal.
Yeah. Cause like when we want to go somewhere, like even if we want to go, let's just say we want to go downtown Dallas for the night, and you want to have a night and you want to like get a hotel room and not have to drive home. Like we can't do that. Like even if we want to go to lunch to meet someone, it's like in the back of our head is like, okay, but we got to be home by 5, to feed the animals. Or like we can go out tonight and we can do whatever, but like chores are at 8 a.m. no matter what. You know what I mean? So like you always have this kind of thing pulling you back.
Right. Is the dream then to, because like you guys seem like you just said you had hired help. So that's what I was going to say. Because like a ranch hand, because I feel like you guys do well enough to be able to pay people to support you.
I think the dream, like the ultimate dream, if I really was going to be, if someone is like, here's $1 billion, what do you want to do?
Spellcast it.
I would
Spellcast it.
make it happen. I would do like a condo in New York. And
Okay.
then hire someone to stay here and then be able to just go back and forth, which I guess $1 billion, I mean, that's crazy. It is doable. I think someday in the future we will have a second place and it will hopefully be like back and forth. But when we're not here, when we're not on the ranch, things fall apart. Things go like, people don't realize, I think, how much goes into it. Like to drive into our place and have it looking gorgeous takes a lot of work. It's constant. There's always things breaking. There's always animals that need something. There's always something that needs to be replaced or built or fixed, or it's constant maintenance. So yes, you can have hired help, but it's like, are they really going to do all the details and take care of every little thing? And do they know what to do? There's just a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. I would imagine. I would imagine. Yet the funny thing, how does it feel for you that like a lot of people's dreams now? I mean, for me, it's interesting to witness because I am a land steward as well. I have land that my father left for me, and my family when my father passed away. So my mother, my brother live out on it, but I have my own, part of the property that I've been thinking about homesteading. And I also had been in contemplation of going, okay, does this feel like the right time to like just be out there in solitude, But I guess my curiosity is, does it feel, because everybody's talking about this now. They're like, oh, land, and we want to just like have a farm and we want. So when you're seeing this craze, how does that feel for you? Because you're in it. So it's always like grass is greener, or how does that feel as you're seeing that kind of pop up? Because I think you're actually light years ahead more than you realize it. But you know me, I'm always your grounding cord in that.
Right. It's so funny. I literally was just going to say the grass is always greener, because every person that sees our life or we tell them, they're like, that's my dream. That's my
Yep.
dream. Like, I want to
Yep.
do that. I want to have chickens and have goats and have animals, like everyone we talk to. So I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I'm not trying to
Sure.
sound like, it's not good enough. This isn't what I want. I'm trying to, because I get how that could come off as like a total bitch. I just, sometimes it feels like Groundhog's Day, because like
Yeah.
you wake up, I'm a neat and a clean freak and organized. So like I get up, I make the bed, I vacuum the house, I put the dishes away, I go out, we feed the animals. Like, it's a routine that AJ and I have gotten it down. Like, we can get chores done in 15 minutes. Like, we have it down, but it still is. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, it's the same thing. Now, again, I'm not trying to complain. I'm not trying to say I'm not grateful for this. AJ and I also have the luxury that we travel in extreme amount, probably more than most people, and we get to go see and do all these amazing things. So I am not at any point complaining. I'm just saying I do think there is a little bit grass is greener.
Sure. I understand. I get that. And it's also, there's that euphemism that people say, chop wood, carry water. So if you can find like the gift in that, like that's always been I'm experiencing a unique shift in my own life where, me, I've been ferry all over the world. People are always like, where are you now? Because I'm kind of just like bopping around. And in this season, I actually felt a very deep calling. It was actually, me and my vision quest journeys via ayahuasca. And it was this time last year again, I sat and it got very clear with me, the medicine or like whatever was revealed to me, right? My own spirit meeting me, call it whatever you want. But it was revealed to me to focus on art, come back to America and put roots down. And it was like, get very steady. Like you're all over the place. Like it's time to just. So I go back to that of chop wood, carry water. Right now I'm at a wellness center and I'm working and coaching with people. And I was going to chat with you about that of like doing hot cold therapy. So we're doing a lot of balancing the nervous system. So I'm trying to find like the gift in mopping floors. And so because I was like, if I call this a job, first of all, I'm going to be pissed. I was like, I haven't had a job in 15 years. And I was like, I'm not going to call it a job. It's a paid partnership. And I'm getting to work with people. I'm getting to
The
coach them. I have my
paid
sound
partnership.
bowl. Huh? Yeah, right. I'm like, it's a paid partnership. And it's a mile away from my house. I have this cool little artist studio now. And I feel you though, of like the Groundhog's Day. I'm like, okay, interesting. But what I'm doing is I'm training my brain to find the pattern interrupts of where there's a gift in it, right? So I was like, okay, I'm getting a 30-minute arm workout. And I'm like, it's such a small space. Like it's not a huge space that I haven't mopped floors. I know that sounds so simple, but I actually haven't been like in that flow, like at least at someone else's, establishment. So I was like, what? And I am finding so much joy. And I know that feels bizarre, but I'm like, chop wood, carry water. And it just feels actually really grounding for me because I've been so the opposite. And so I'm finding, but that's just myself. I know that for you, it must be, a unique thing. It's a lot of caretaking and all that, but it's like the simple things. I think if we can find that's part of like my coaching that I'm working with people is really finding that still point inside and in the middle of
Uh-huh.
discomfort, finding that center point. It's going to be very important as we continue to move forward through what I call this threshold moment in humanity. We're going through quite a bit. There's a lot of different grief happening across the planet, and this is no longer, I think the crux of it was, of course, like a global pandemic. And then, so we all got to feel it and then we all kind of dispersed. And now it's like, I can't tell you, Ben, like everywhere I turn, it's like someone's just falling apart, whether it be through their country now at like a new, like I have a very eclectic and large group of friends. So it's very multicultural. And I'm like, whoa, everywhere we look. And I think that's in a way, I know this sounds bizarre, it almost makes me just feel like, wow, like really more, like a lot more present and connected. So I've been feeling really good in that polarity, right? Of like it's like there's like really
Uh-huh.
beautiful, like you said, and I thank you for bringing that because it's true. There's a lot of really exciting things happening. I think that the precipice that we're on the brink of is actually really special in the world, but it's always darkest before the brightest dawn kind of thing.
Right. I mean, yeah. And I think the pendulum, they always say like the pendulum, it swings so far one way, eventually it will go back to the other way. So like when shit seems crazy or like it's, is never going to come back, it always does come back the other way.
Always. Yes. You can't have one without the other.
And if right. And I love the paid partnership thing. I'm totally stealing that. For anyone who's ever like, I don't like my job, I'm just like, it's a paid partnership. It's not a job. That's brilliant.
Energy
Do you
exchange.
miss like Tulum in Mexico?
Yes and no.
Like, do
What
you
I
think you'll
like?
go back?
Of course, I left a car down there. I have a paid off car that I just left down there, so I just have friends using it. That's just the way I roll. If they want to drop into my Venmo kind of thing, I'm like, you can do it, but it's paid off. Like I have a car down there. I actually just got a message right before getting on here, and friends of mine I connected, and so they like went on an adventure and used my little car, and then like sent me a photo, and I feel like this is a time of really deep resource sharing if we can so I think reimagining your space too and I know how that is, like you're right, there's so much to be done at the farm, but like I mean there's just like now like these different ways of exchanging. So if you did have like a I don't know like a thinking of your space like a timeshare of like maybe it's a small group of friends that you bring out for like I think can you see how my mind works? I'm always just like such a like reimaginer. Abstract ways of thinking is like my skill set. But
And
having
I'm
like a
already like putting up a wall. I'm like, no, 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 absolutely not.
you're like no. But I'm like I don't know. I think of spaces like timeshares all the time because with my land, what I offered to my friends, I said, look, because I've got friends that are majorly excellent at building, like really cool temple spaces with like geometric cool like those new domes and stuff. And I was like, look, I've got acreage. If you want to come out and build stuff, this is a timeshare. You can grow your wheat on our property. You can grow your mushrooms on our property. Like, let's use this as like a timeshare, like space, utilizing space is really cool. And then we can kind of, because I don't want to be out there all the time. It's quite isolated. I was like, but we can share and exchange resources.
I'm such a neat freak and so particular. And so I like everything organized. I like everything clean. I like everything in its place. I could not handle someone else coming into my space and like messing it up or like even putting their, I'd be like, no, it's giving me anxiety just thinking about that.
Yeah, I get it. And that's like more of an American lens, of course. Like back in the day, we didn't
Right.
really have the ability to have that, right? Like we were always weaving together. So as we kind of come back to I think there's gonna be no other choice but to kind of shake hands. Whether that doesn't mean that you share your space like physically. But I'm sure out there in Granbury, people are, cross-pollinating of some sorts, like different farmers and trading and bartering. It's just all being
Oh,
reimagined right now. I think it's cool.
better than everyone fighting.
Yeah, well, everyone is
But I
fighting
wanted
too.
to touch on you that, yeah, that too. With your brand partnership, you said it was a wellness center and it was hot and cold because it's so funny because I have my little room downstairs that I call the wellness center, and I have a sauna and a cold plunge in there.
Yeah, and how often are you using it, Ben? Are you in there every day?
I used to use it every single day. I would do like
Okay.
30 minutes in the sauna, and I was up to like 8 minutes in the cold plunge.
Wow.
And that cold plunge, I mean, that thing is, I think it's at like 37, 38 degrees. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, that's
it was
cold. That's our
like,
coldest one is that.
it's cold.
We
Yeah.
have
So I
2
had it at that, and
options.
I would go. So where you're working, it's like a hot, cold place.
It's a wellness center. We offer, yeah, the contrast therapy, which I call polarity therapy. I think it's all very metaphoric. And for women, I think it really depends on where they are in their cycle. Men, I think, can do it a little bit more, but I do always encourage people to listen to their body. So right now, if you're not in a season of doing that, looks like you might have kind of, burnt out. But I'm looking at the data and the science behind some of these things. And my grandmother had dementia, and so I'm looking at the brain, right? With being a psychonaut too, I've like studied a lot about just a lot of research that's going on with the neurons in the brain and how they're reconnecting because there's so much gray matter. So they're saying that it's 200% more dopamine from a cold plunge than it is for cocaine. So right before
I did
this, I
know there
did
was
a
all these
session.
benefits.
Yes, major, major inflammation, sleep, which is a main one. I think people are not getting as much sleep that they need to be. And then just ultimately just being able to sit in discomfort, for lack of better words. I mean, just literally being able to sit in it and then find again, like that's kind of what we chatted about, like the through line of you with the farm is like just finding that, still point in discomfort is I think gonna be it's just so funny. We're just like addicted to the peak experiences too. So that feeling of just sitting
Hmm.
and, where you're at too was a lot of, how I always bring it back here, but it's just true being back in Arizona too, coming from indigenous bloodlines. All the natives were sweating together to get through a Phoenix summer. I've been telling people, what the irony is to get through a Phoenix heat, get in hotter temperatures. And then that helps you regulate, of course, the cold plunge as well. But we've been doing this since ancient times, sweating. Even in the European side, they're all sweating and doing cold plunge. That's very, very common in that culture. So I think it's now, America's embracing it. I think it's really, really good. Sauna, even if you just do the sauna, 20 minutes of sauna a day, they're showing, releasing toxins better than any other like supplement you could take for 6 months. It's really the data is like undeniable for me. And that's why I've been going, wow, I'm going to be 40 in February. I'm getting like a little bit in a different bracket. And I'm
You're going
realizing,
to be
okay,
40.
totally. I know. Where did
I
time
mean,
go?
that's fucking
And I
crazy.
feel so like it's hilarious. Age is a decision, right? Like I'm not sitting here saying that I think that that's old. I think that that's going to be one of my prime decades. I am looking forward to it, in fact. And I'm in a total age bracket relationship. I'm watching that new show, Age of Desire, or Age of Attraction, or whatever it's called. Have you seen it?
Oh, someone just told me about that.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm in an age bracket relationship. I'm, yeah, 13 years older than my partner. And it feels
Wow. Age.
so nice because he's not only keeping me in environments that I probably had already kind of like let sail. What I mean by that is like going to like music festivals and you just went to Coachella. How was that?
It was crazy. It was wild.
Beaverchella.
It was nuts.
How many people were there?
Beaverchella. Yes. Oh my God. So many people. Like it was crazy. Luckily, I mean, I was very spoiled because I came in pretty VIP, so I didn't have to do any of the
Yeah.
lines or any of the,
Yeah.
yes.
The one and
Yeah.
only time that I
Yeah.
went, I was also very VIP. So it feels like I was
Yeah.
an artist. So I was like,
Yeah. We had artist pass. We like flew in on my friend's new plane, and like, yeah, it was, I mean, I couldn't, yeah, it was not a normal Coachella experience, but there's so many people there. Like literally, it's
yeah.
crazy.
How many? Do you know how many?
But wait, I have to,
What's up?
I don't. I'm sure we could Google that, but there's a lot. I think it was
Yeah.
like a record. It was like a record year with Bieber too.
Wow. Okay.
First of all, still can't believe you're 40. Not that that's old. It's just that we've known each other for so long. That's like what's crazy. Um, but I want to go back to the hot and cold thing.
Mhm.
It's crazy because I got that when I was doing like really getting into my fitness and working out, and I did it more of as like muscle recovery. But I
Mhm.
remember like it's tough. Like the heat is actually harder for me because I don't like sweating. I would much even like here, I would much rather be cold. It's probably because I'm from Minnesota. Like I'm used to the cold.
Sure.
But I used to do like 30 minutes in the sauna and then I would do the 8 minutes in the cold plunge and I would just literally play Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On and I would just pretend I was in the Titanic.
Yes. I have
And I would go
spiritual
up to I would
experiences.
like go up to my neck.
It's good. That's what you wanna do. You wanna get your vagus nerve under that water. So when I coach people, when they wanna go, like, half in, half out, I'm like, "That's harder because your body, your brain is going, 'What is going on?'" So I bring my little sound bowl, and I'm over there while they're in it, and I'm coaching people through Wim Hof breathing, so in through the nose for the cold, right? For the cold plunge. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth,
Right.
and, I'm watching so many people. It's really exciting. I love being in that role too. Like I just whether it's in medicine ceremonies, whether it's in, hot cold plunge, I just really love number 1 to be of service to the community. I really love that because I'm bringing back the jungle codes, all the medicine that I've learned back to America and that feels potent for right now. Like I feel like I've had many years of just being in or really opposite, being out of it all. And then, coming
Right.
back, it was a very specific message that I got. And it felt really important to be back here in the winter with my family and made it easier because I found, the partner that I'm with, Jake, he literally met me in Mexico. So my beloved showed up at my doorstep in Mexico. And that's why I'm back here in America because he's from here in Phoenix. So it was just like one of those
Wow.
things. I am a really good witch and I'm good at manifesting and casting spells. And he showed up right. I was like, I don't lift a finger. I don't chase, I attract. And then boom. So yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
like that's
you should write a book for some of these people on how to find a relationship. Be like, they'll just come to your front door.
they can if you want. You know what I mean? We can be swiping, swiping,
Yeah.
swiping. That's the
Yeah.
other thing I've been doing. I've actually been event hosting for this dating app. It's in Texas as well, Jigsaw. So it's a dating app where you can meet in person. And so it's like I've been hosting their in-person immersive. So we do speed dating and stuff. So that's also been another paid partnership of it's been so fun to get out of the matrix, right? I was out of it for like 6 years. And then to like re-enter back into America, meaning I was obviously doing visa runs, but to come back into it and then be watching, I'm obsessed with all these dating shows too. And then to now be hosting speed dating and like I just love psychology. I love it. And I love holding people through events as well, or just immersive experiences. I love that space because everyone loves to be led. So I'm a great leader and I've
So
just
is that what
found the
you're doing
sweet
with the
spot.
hot cold?
What? Like
Like
leading them?
leading people through it. Like yeah, so you're like guiding people through this. So when they do it, how long are they in each, like the sauna cold plunge? Like do they do one then the other? Do they go back and forth? Is it like what's the time frame they're doing this for?
Yeah, we have a blueprint that the owner that started. We have 4 locations in Phoenix, and it's all it's a local like homegrown company that now has grown into 4 locations. But he's awesome, and he also came from kind of serving ayahuasca as well. So that when you come in, if you came when you visit Phoenix, you'll have to come in because everyone walks in. We have these
Yes.
huge like amethyst crystals and this like awesome like big Buddha sitting at the front, or it's like a Buddhist sort of. It was a gift, but it's beautiful. It's very shamanic when you come in, so it's different than like a gym environment. It feels a lot more grounded and um so we have even like the elements. And so that's where I haven't worked for anybody else in a long time, but I was like, okay, if I want to focus on my art, I need to not be just like fully focused in full-time coaching. So I need to like have supplemental income to actually produce artwork because if your nervous system is in that hustle, you're not going to create as much as you could. So that's been the life of an artist is to
Right.
like try and figure it out and be like, how is this going to go? And yeah, so I really just was like, look, same thing like with my partner. I was like, okay, I don't chase, I attract. I want it to just like fall into my lap, where I'm supposed to be next. And sure enough, I knew that one of the managers and he's like, hey, I'm actually moving to this psychedelic retreat in the Caribbean. You want to like take my position over at Optimize? And I was like, sure. So that's how it happened. And I was like, okay, guess I'm moving to Phoenix. Yeah, so it's really good. And it's amazing just to see, people's nervous systems currently, whether they're working in tech or whether they're working in the medical field, a lot of like people, when you know how it is, you've done the cold. Once you get in that cold
Hmm.
plunge, your mind starts to go into all these places. So it's allowing me to strengthen my coaching and to get people at least to 1 to 2 minutes in their first try. And I can get them there. I can get them there.
I think after the first 30 seconds, maybe a minute, you kind of go numb.
Yeah.
It's like the getting in. It's the getting in. You first
Yep.
put your feet in, you're like, what, fuck, 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 fuck. And then like getting like, I don't know, it's like past your nipples and your armpits is like the
Mhm.
worst. And then once you get in, it's like you go numb eventually, but it is that first, I say it's the first minute's the hardest.
That I would say it is that first 20 seconds. Cause like what happens is I watch people and you can see where the psychology is. You can see how that may play out
Uh-huh.
in other aspects of their life, whether it be an argument with their partner. I'm like, oh, you're the one who just like either walks away or reacts pretty extreme or and that's how I started this, Ben, because you knew me when I was married. And so not to like ever continue that story. I'm so over that story. I'm now like complete with telling it. But I'll say that I came from a challenged timeline in which I was married to somebody else and I needed to get my body back, because I was very dissociated. Remember that house that you came to Venice when I was dating the woman? She had a sauna and
Yes, where you
cold
cut my
plunge at her
hair.
house. And that's
I
when I
remember in the
started.
backyard.
Yep. And she was like, I need you to get in that hot and cold. It's going to be really helpful for you. I had never even heard of that. I was like, what? I mean, I kind of course, I think I knew saunas from spas, of course, but I hadn't ever done, well, again, at spas, there's a cold plunge, but it wasn't like the craze that it is now of like really
No,
contrast
and I never
therapy.
realized it was actually health benefits to it.
Like, the other data I found? Alzheimer's and dementia. Oh, I mentioned that. Yeah, like the neurons are now like reconnecting and stuff, and it's just an amazing thing. And I mean, I did that right before coming on with you today because I was like, oh, I've got a couple hours. I'm gonna go and do a session at one of our other locations, and I was like, I'm just gonna go. So it's now becoming, but I do figure out like when my cycle is. As a woman, I'm like, okay, if I'm close to my cycle or on my cycle, not really. I'll take a week and a half.
Should we be doing it every day?
I mean, look, so here's what I would say to you. Because you love to live large, think of it like a metaphor. If you're able to really hold a large capacity, right? And I think that's your desire, is not only for It's Been a Week, but for being on film and holding, let's call it a multi-million-dollar film, billion-dollar film, whatever, right? Like think of, and all of you out there too, think of what it is that you really want, you know? I've been feeling my inklings and my dreaming coming back as well. So I've had that in the top of my heart. And it's starting to like manifest of like, okay, first self-made millionaire in my family because of my art. Easy. Art is
Mm.
subjective. For you, maybe it's a film, maybe it's whatever the capacity is. I want It's Been a Week to be one of the largest podcasts on the planet. Okay. It's a large container to hold. If you can really find like, and I don't even really want to give a lot of like credit to some of these thought leaders that I don't know because they're showing up on said lists that I don't even want to go there. But there's just really interesting
Mm.
thought leaders that have talked about this for a long time. They have like 15 to like 150 companies. Some of these people that I'm speaking about, they're getting in that cold plunge every day, not because they want to,
Wow.
because it's a lifestyle. And so that's when I started really paying attention of like, okay, well, these are archetypes in the world that are carrying a lot of capacity. So if my vessel can't handle holding quite a bit, the first time that it really started to dawn on me that it was going to be quite a large undertaking was when you were at my house for a dinner party once and I went viral, it doesn't matter, but like about that my relationship, and I started getting crucified online.
Uh-huh.
And I started to feel that of like, oh, and there's a spiritual teacher that I listen to, and he speaks about that. And he's not in support or necessarily, he's not very into politics, but he says like to be one of the most hated presidents in the world, or like to be that archetype, to hold that, he's not in, favor of it, but he's saying in order to hold that, that's a lot. So like how far, of course that's going to be subjective for each person, but like how far. And if you look at some of the people from all of ancient history, like holding a lot of capacity, able to sit in discomfort, able to really, really, that's Jedi
Right.
training. So for those of us, I think we've become very sensitive. We can't take criticism.
Yes.
We can't take, the heat. And I'm like, yo, guys, like time to, you know, If you really want it, prove it.
It's definitely making me want to go in my sauna and cold plunge. Can you do it at night, or is it better to do it in the morning?
I would recommend it because it's gonna keep you awake. So, like, I would probably, unless you end off in the sauna, but like for, for most people, because that dopamine rush, right, lasts a couple hours. So I probably wouldn't do it unless you want to stay up for a couple hours. So if you're like, hey, I'm going out for the
Right.
night, I need like a couple hours in me, but I'm really tired, getting that cold plunge, So like, I don't do it at
Right,
night
right,
if
right.
I'm like winding down though. Yeah, you don't want to like, activate your nervous system like
Do it and then
that.
try to go to sleep because your brain's
Right.
going to be like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sauna is different though. Sauna.
Okay, that's a little more relaxing, I feel like, because it's like the detox. Okay, are we going to pull some cards?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had an idea. So speaking to everyone out there as well, like all of us are in this really cool invitational time to create something. I think that the final stage of healing that I've experienced is becoming an artist of some kind. We're all an artist. Okay. It doesn't have to mean taking a paintbrush to a canvas. We're all creative. We're all creative in certain forms. So for you, Ben, thinking about the entity itself of it's been a week, like it has an energy of its own. Some of my astrologer friends will do an entire, like the birth date, the first date that it's been a week went out, or maybe it's from the inception of you coming up with the idea. Maybe that's the birth date, but like coming up with that birth date for it's been a week, they'll literally read a whole chart on a project. It's really cool how far people go with their creative
That's
ideas because
crazy.
it's an entity, right? It has its
Yeah.
own life. So it's very cool to think about. And so my partner and I started a new project called House Paint, where he's a house DJ and then I'm painting here behind me. And we also are taking it very, very intentionally and really looking at, like said it, we didn't even intentionally first do the first episode on a day that we realized was such a powerful one, but we are now being a lot more intentional with bringing magic into it. So, me, I've pulled cards with you guys before, but I want everyone that's listening too to be a part of this spell casting because it's just where our intention goes, energy flows. So I have this deck. It's my favorite deck. I pull cards from it all the time. So what we're going to do, because we can do this from afar, so you might have landed here by what you think is accident, but not really. In your hearts, and then you too, you can lead by example. Just
Mhm.
even put hands over the heart. Just put your hands over your heart, close down the lids, and just for a moment, we're just going to take a moment and we're going to think about what we're creating. Right now, we are in the Renaissance, and Renaissance in French means rebirth. We're in a rebirth of humanity. We're in an exciting time. Yes, there's a lot going on, but there's a lot of really great opportunity to create. So, Ben, you've got amazing creative things that I know we're not at liberty to share, but I'm rooting for you always, only always. And I hold you in such high regard and this podcast because I really do. And I'm not one to just like see things and it be not a reality. It's just I see, and I'm really grateful for that oracular pulse. So it's been a week. It is already done. So holding that vision, right? Seeing it. It's been a week is right up there at top podcasts. Seeing that on Spotify, on Apple, whatever it is, right? Literally seeing it, envisioning it, holding it, feeling that in your heart. And now for all of us, okay, for me, it's this project House Paint. It's me and Jake, and we've been saying Coachella 2028. So I'm gonna place that here. And then also for those of you guys out there, that are creating something, it can be as big or small or simple or profound, bold ideas. Hold that vision in your hearts and just think of how you feel with it already being done because time is not linear. Big breath into that, out with a sigh, and then coming slowly back into this present moment. This is what's so fun about magic. It's because it's all made up. So when we realize that, right? When we see other artists or we see other people, oof, and I got spirit bumps, I got chills. That's all it is like people just really believing it, not even having any wavering. And I've known Ben. I'm like, oh yeah, Ben, like he's going places. We've known that. So, okay, those fell out. But we're going to do a card for all of our creations just to kind of help us stay inspired. So holding that in your hearts. And this is just a little message for the spirit of the project you are creating. And maybe think about that. Maybe you're not creating. This is an invitation to start. What are you creating right now? Is it true to you? Now is the time. So here we go. I believe in you. I believe in me and all of this. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Of course. Of course, of course, of course. This is the one. I always wait for it to fall out completely. That's how I do readings. Because instead of like picking one, I like to just be shuffling. So we pulled The Star Born. Are you kidding me?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Look at this egg cracking. Reminds me, I did a painting there with a snake for last year. You're the snake, and then it's surrounding an egg like that. So the starborn, believing it about ourselves, like what there's this like danger of comparison, and we like think that there's not enough room for us, but it's just not accurate. Who would you be if you had no naysayer that was living inside your brain saying like, who are you? Who do you think you are? You know, it's a pretty powerful posture to believe in yourself all the way. If not you, then who, babe? Okay.
It's true.
Here it is, the starborn, the divine child, the star child, the destined, an elusive yet radiant aspect of the self. The starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives when with each being at birth. The moment that a newborn crowns, whether vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. An idea of destiny is controversial, yet the starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insights. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than a series of logistics. Forget the tasks for the farm. It's all going to be laughable later. We know that. And what I love about it is that it brings it so home. Like all of us really, it's so grounding because the little spirits of the farm there are like holding it down and they're dreaming and believing with you. Okay, so yeah. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. Have your chart read. Feel free to reach out to me, guys. I do chart readings. I do, one-on-one sessions. So feel free to reach out to me. Would love to hold space with you guys and help you dream and scheme. Your constellation and your shape, you have your own, sacred geometry. Ask questions. What does the process conjure in you? There's all different things, but there's our unique blueprint, right? So when this card appears, don't be surprised if you receive a surge of desire for a long lost dream. One that you have not visited since childhood. Let this desire shake you up.
Ooh.
So what is it you're creating? The last stage of healing, and I really believe we are in. If you study consciousness, you guys, we are in a renaissance. And I know I said that already, but I'll say it again. We are in one of the most colorful, exciting, yes. There's world wars. There's all these things are going to continue to happen. But darkness is not the absence of light. It's the excess of it. We are in the time of miracles. We are in the time of major, major magic. And I have, full faith. It's going to be good, man. For you. But for you too, Ben. I've believed in you for eons, We were destined to meet. These stars crossed, and it was like, really cool. And how synchronistic you and I's journey has been of you just running into Syra recently, and then you ran into me, and like how, we've all just kind of been, and we're kind of doing this. And I believe the source of all that is love, has a certain group of us that's been held back for such a time as this. Because now the next comeback is going to be insane. Let's rock and roll.
I agree. It's time. It's our time. It's our time. I also think it is time for breaking. So this is the point of the show where we get to bitch, complain, get whatever we want off our chest, and just then let it go. So I will go first, and then after that, we'll hear your breaking point. Sound good?
Okay, let's rock.
My breaking point this week is fucking Starbucks and their mobile orders. Here's the deal. You guys have created an app for us to put in a mobile order so that when we get to the window, we don't have to say our order. We don't have to pull out our credit card. We don't have to pay. We put in our order. We do our thing. We show up and I say, hey, I have a mobile order for Ben. Every time I pull up to that window and I say, I have a mobile order for Ben, the barista or whoever the fuck's on the other end of it is so angry and is so bitter. And they're like annoyed that I placed a mobile order. They're like, well, we're still working on it. And I'm like, well, guess what? You have about a 6-minute heads up than if I would have just ordered it at the window. So I don't know why it's a big deal. What? They're like, well, we're not done with it. I'm like, okay, well, imagine I just pulled up now and placed my order. Then you'd be starting from scratch. So I don't understand what the big deal is. The whole reason Starbucks invented the app and invented mobile ordering was to try to make this more efficient. So I'm sick of your bullshit, Becky. And when I pull up with my mobile order, just be like, yeah, we'll have that for you when you get up here. We're working on it. Or great, we'll see you up here. Don't act like it's such an inconvenience. Okay, that's my breaking point.
Okay. All right. Do you feel lighter? I don't remember the last
Ah,
time I, like,
yes.
paid Starbucks. I'm like, honestly, fuck them because they're such a major corp." So I'm like, "No, I don't wanna give money to Starbucks," but I totally hear you. I totally hear you.
So annoying. So annoying. Okay, what is your breaking point?
Okay, are you ready for this? I thought of you because I asked my partner, I was like, "Which one should I tell Ben?" I was like, "When did I, like, react?" I said, "Okay, well, this is perfect because Ben's an actor." Did you see Wuthering Heights? You didn't see it.
No, but it's on my list. It's on my
Oh,
list.
okay, great, you're in for a treat. It's one of the best films that I've seen in a very long time. It's a piece of art. It is. I cried, I wept, I was on an emotional journey. I was like, "Oh my gosh," right? Like, unbelievable. My partner and I come from different backgrounds. He's definitely an angel. He comes from a very different philosophy, right? He's dated less women than I've dated, and I love him for it. He is the most monogamous, genuine, safe space for me. And I have worked really hard to get to this. But my background is very colorful, as we all know. So I was like, I could do what Margot Robbie is doing. Like, she's the muse archetype. Like, I've been told something in my essence by a few people, and I'm not trying to, like, it was very interesting for me to receive from random different people. They're like, "You remind me of Margot Robbie for some reason." That we don't look alike, but I think it's her muse, the muse of who she is, and my effect on certain people, whatever. So I've heard that from a few people. I thought that was really sweet. But we had a conversation, and he brought it up, and he was like, "No, but I think," we were in this debate around when we debate, it's like typically very calm, but this one got a rise out of us. I mean, we were debating around whether or not her husband, you have to see it, Ben, because the chemistry that her and what's his name, the guy, Jake Belordi have on it is
Yeah.
steamy, undeniably steamy, right? It is like very believable. And he was like, "You know, I loved the movie. The movie definitely was amazing, but to know that she's a wife of, somebody else, it was definitely confronting to be like watching her and be like, whoa, like that must have been interesting for her husband." And I was like, I mean, as an artist, these are eccentrics, babe. Like I'm sure he loved it. I've been also in a lot of polyamorous culture. I've been like in a lot of colorful communities. So that's where my lens was. But he's a very one partner. We do this. And I know you and AJ are similarly. And I thought to ping it to you guys, but you haven't seen it yet. So see the movie. But I'd also love to just know from you guys how that's worked out. Like I know that I'm sure that's come up of just being like, if I get cast in a movie, what happens here? Like, what if there's like a love interest? And as artists, there was a part of me that was like, I guess I'm just going to have to direct some of the films that I'd like to see because I don't know if I could play out that kind of polarity. And yeah, really big contemplation, but it was my breaking point where I was like, and I was like literally in theatrics, like crying about it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't think her. I don't know. And then just to wrap it, I did see a interview with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and she was saying that to watch her. She directed a film recently, and her husband played a love interest of somebody else, and she said she died inside a little bit, like watching her husband do that. So I was like, huh. Well, this is a good one to bring up for Ben. But yeah, very interesting.
I think AJ would be like, get that check. Get that check.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he'd be like, oh yeah, get the check. Or
You guys have been
get
together
the
for
role, get
so
the movie,
long.
get the thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it also, I think when you're an actor, it's like there's a intimacy coordinator. There's like 20 people in the room, video, like the producer. It's not like this is just the two of you intimately, as much as the film
Oh,
seems
totally.
like
That's what I said. I
it's
was like,
just
there's
two
like
people.
100 people in the room.
Yeah, and usually when it's like, I mean, it's usually a closed set, so it'll be less people, but you still have producers, directors, writers, the DP, the sound guy. So it is not, and there's an intimacy coordinator that coordinates your every move and what angle the camera is going to be at. It's so robotic that I don't, as steamy as it wants to be, like people are watching that or Heated Rivalry or all these other shows. It is so choreographed. It's not.
Yeah. That whole thing with the intimacy coordinator and all that is very bizarre, but I'm with you. I hear you. It's very interesting.
Well, thank you so much for coming back on It's Been a Week once again. You always have all the insight and all the knowledge. And sometimes it's fun because I just get to like sit and absorb and I actually don't have to talk as much and I just get to like take it all in. So thank you so much for coming on. I will link all of your stuff in the show notes if people want to connect with you, if they want to get a reading from you, if they want to just say hi. I'll put all that in the show notes. But thank you for coming on. And until next time, I will see you next Tuesday.
Hey, podcast listeners, I'm Ken Schneck, host of This News is So Gay. This News is So Gay is a weekly roundtable where LGBTQ+ journalists discuss issues at the forefront of national dialogue. We're covering hot-button queer news like healthcare and athletic bans for trans youth, defunding of federal HIV and AIDS programs, and general threats to queer public life. Think Meet the Press, but gayer. New episodes of This News is So Gay drop every Wednesday morning. Find us on your favorite podcasting app.